morning, happy Sunday. It's yet another opportunity for us to learn the story of an incredible woman in sport in South Africa. Her name is Mapaseka Makhanya, a middle and long distance runner, and she's done it all from the streets of Naledi all the way to the global stages. And now she prepares for a Two Oceans marathon. So sit back, be comfortable. Let's learn about Mapaseka Makhanya. Such an honor to be joined by Mapaseka Makhanya. Mapasexy, do you still use that name? Because
I do.
Because it still applies. Thank you so much for joining us, Mapaseka. A conversation that I've been waiting to have, because I feel like certain stories a lot of people must still hear. And here is a young lady from Soweto dominating middle and long distance running in the country. But I think your story still needs to be told a lot more. So we're going to start back then, Egas, Soweto, in Naledi, where you grew up. Take me back to what home looked like.
Thank you for having me. Home was lovely. Soweto, they used to call it the dusty streets of Soweto.
Yes.
They're not so dusty anymore.
No. At least there's a bit of development now.
You know?
Yes.
But home was a happy home, and it allowed me to be the person that I am today. I made them allow me to do sports.
Yes.
But I come from a happy home, a loving home, and a very supportive family.
So when you say I forced them to allow me to do sports, initially they were not sold on the idea. I
was young, surrounded by boys. And then there were so many sexual assault stories around the neighborhood, and me being associated with boys, it didn't sit well with my mom, especially my mom. But later I found out that she was trying to protect me, but me being hard-headed, I just, went and do what I did. And she eventually allowed me to participate in athletics.
So initially you're surrounded by boys because there are not a lot of girls, I imagine, that are into running. But what grabbed you to the sport of athletics?
In primary school, there was a teacher, Miss Lipiani, Elizabeth Lipiani. She was an official. She still is. Believe me, she's 86 now. She still is a athletics official. She used to take me to cross-country races, and I was like 11, 12, 10. And made me run cross-country, even if I came last. And for me, it was more of an outing than going to a cross-country race, because I live in Soweto, so we go to run in Germiston, we go to run in Boksburg.
It's a trip.
Yeah. I get there, I play, and she'd make sure I run. Because my race was in the beginning, like 12 a.m., but I'd miss my race, and then 3 p.m. she's like, "You're gonna run with the veterans. You're gonna run." And the boys started calling me veteran because she made sure that I ran. And I got used to it. Like every weekend is a trip. There was a lady, Corner lady, so I would go to her and ask for her train ticket. She bought a weekly, so Friday she'll give me a weekly so that on Saturday I can use it to travel, to take a train to Johannesburg, and then we go to races. So I come from a very supportive community.
Yeah, because you had your teachers and you had Itigitila neighbor to be able to do the races. But is that because there were no races within Soweto?
Cross-country, as much as cross-country is a development sport, we didn't have cross-country leagues in Soweto. The closest that we had was in Langlaagte. So I train in Soweto, not really training, but run and play, but we didn't have that. Now they do have at Elka, they have it in the communities, but then we didn't have it. So it was good for me.
It's good because then you got to be independent and have to go to the different cities. I mean, from Soweto to Boksburg is quite a distance.
It is.
It forced you to be independent and grow up quickly as you were doing. Did you get to a point where you're like, okay, I think I like running, I enjoy what I'm doing? When was that point?
I really didn't. Okay, now I love running. But as a teenager, I really didn't like running. People saw something in me from primary school, from Malpiani to being coached by Nkosinathi. They made me run, I don't know why. And then I got a scholarship at 4-2. Also then,
You were still not convinced.
I was still not convinced. I think 3 weeks ago I met the principal. He was the principal and the coach from 4-2, Mr. Hans says that. And he says to me, Mapa, remember what I said to you? I was like, huh? What did you say? I said, I told you to get out of your comfort zone because you were too relaxed, and then you did, and you became the person that you are today. Because running was like, it's a drag.
But clearly it's something that you were good at.
Yes. But with the support of people around me who saw the potential in me that I didn't even see, I didn't even realize that I have. So I thank them for that, because for me it was like, running. Yeah. But also, when I was 16, when I started representing South Africa, then for me it was more of a trip. Now I'm not running in Boksburg.
Now you're going even further
I'm going
down.
to Mauritius.
Wow. So your first trip out the country was to Mauritius?
Yes. I was 15. I was going to southern regions. And then my mom didn't even want to make me a passport because she's like, you're going to die there. How are you going to get you back home? You're not going there. I'm like, oh, okay. Then I went to Home Affairs.
By yourself?
Signature. But she knew I was hard-headed. She phoned the school. They told her I'm not there, and she knew where I was immediately. Then she went to Home Affairs. She found me there, sitting there. Like, what are you doing on my passport? It's like, I'm going to call the police for you. I'm going to tell the whole country that you don't know how to represent South Africa. And then that's how I got my passport.
And that's what you got. That's how you got your first trip to Mauritius.
To Mauritius. And then the same year, I went to the World Youth Championships in Hungary. So it was, my youth was,
Interesting, to say the least. Our guest today on Women in Sport Africa is Mapaseka Makhanya, a veteran. Can I call you a veteran? Veteran, middle, long distance runner? You're still young. Veteran sometimes, feels like it's somewhat a little mature, but because of the amount of work she's done, I think it's safe to call her a veteran of the game. When we come back, we catch up a lot more with Mapaseka Makhanya. Welcome back to Women in Sport Africa. It's a Sunday and we get to sit down and have a nice conversation with an athlete who runs 25 kilometers a day. We need to talk about this running regime, and maybe towards the end you can give us some tips on if you want to be a runner, because we're seeing that, people are going towards the healthy lifestyle. How do you start? But let's continue with the story of Mapaseka. So now, Umama Kuyak Baka, a Home Affairs, because when are you going to get your passport? You want to go represent South Africa overseas. But I want to talk about just the early days and the sacrifices that you had to make to be able to, number one, be a good runner that is able to go overseas.
I don't know what you say. I'm a loner that is... When I'm in public, I love people, I talk a lot, I laugh a lot, but when I'm home, I'm just a loner. So I never had many friends. I never liked playing in the streets. Like at my house, I'd had myself under the bed and they would look for me and I'm under the bed because I don't want to play in the streets.
Wow.
I would sit at my gate, and not play with other kids.
Yeah.
I would save money to go to a concert with my friends, and then on Friday I'm like, can I have my money?
I'm not going anymore.
I'm not going anymore. I don't want to be there. So it was not more of sacrifices. It was the person that I am, and I think that had helped me to continue continue having the discipline even when I started running, because I had not been a very outgoing person at a young age.
And that saves you. Being boring actually saves you from a lot, particularly in fact in any environment. But fast, you know, you can and go enjoy this with our friends. So that actually saves you from a lot.
It does, but essentially also it brings maybe naughty boys towards you, because I remember when I was 15, my coach then, Nkosnati, he was hit with a bottle on his head, and he still has that bottle to this day, because the boys wanted to take me by force.
What?
Because I think I'm special. I don't, you don't play with other boys, you don't, you know, you always home, what's so special about you? You know, so that also, there's a good and a bad side of it.
True.
And I think now maybe things have changed, but we lived in a community that also, they made that feel normal, that boys can grab you and talk to you however they want to. But fortunately, with the people that I was surrounded with, they protected me. So, and that's another thing that made me be away from the streets and just continue running.
So in a way it helped as well to keep you out of the streets.
Yes, and I think Foreign 2 helped me because we stayed at the school, so I didn't go higher and not frequently. I would go every other weekend, but I'm in the school's facilities, I'm training there, I'm eating there, so I don't have to face those things anymore.
Would you say that it's a lot different for the girl child that's growing today as an athlete in any sporting code?
I don't think so. I really don't think so, because most sports now, even running, is dominated by males.
Still,
it's still dominated by males, and you still get the compliments when you're running. What are you chasing? Why are you running? You're looking so skinny. Why are you running? So it doesn't give a girl child confidence to pursue athletics at a very young age, because there's no motivation.
Sure.
And some of us, we end up leaving the townships, and these girls don't see their role models in front of them doing those things that they would love to do, and that's an unfortunate part.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate part. You're right, because if you were still within the same community, then the young girls would be able to see you closer. Which brings me to my next question: that is there someone you would look up to in your days, especially when you're still starting off in your teens, a lady that inspired you to say, okay, one day I would like to be like this athlete as well?
I think most of us, we looked at Maria Mutola. She was the amazing athlete, and she didn't look like any other female, but because of the color of her skin, she represented so many of us. So she's one of the athletes that I looked up to. And she drove me to, I think, most of the things that I've done, even running the 800 meters, because she made it look so easy. She made it look so fun. So I think that was one of the women that I looked up to. And then in South Africa, we had Bodikeledi Moropani. She was amazing. She was a sprinter, and everybody wanted to be Edikeledi Moropani.
Yeah, and that's the importance of the representation, to see someone that looks like you, which you've just spoken about. Because then that dream is, you feel like I can reach it now, because if Mapaseka, who looks like me, has gotten there, then I can get there too.
It's very attainable.
So now, Mapaseka, back at Home Affairs, you're going for that first international trip. How did it feel eventually? Did you get the passport, and what was the tournament, and how did it feel to take your first trip now outside Boksburg, so yeah, in Mauritius?
I got my passport. We were at the Home Affairs the whole day, because I was leaving in 2 days when I went to do my passport. So we had to get an emergency passport. So back then it was that you get an emergency passport that lasts a year. So we got that. 2 days later, we went to Mauritius, and my mother took me to the airport. She was not very bad. She took me to the airport with my cousin, and they took taxis, and that's, So I got to Mauritius. I ran, I think, think, the 1500 meters, and I was 4th. But for me, it was even more than, like, running was like, oh, well, I'm in Mauritius. You know, I was, my first flight was to Mauritius. I've never been in an airplane before. So here I am in Mauritius, and I didn't know anything about Mauritius. It was like, it's Mauritius, you know, but it was nice. And I had to qualify for, they said you must be in the top 5 to qualify for World Youth Champs. So I made sure that I am in the top 5 to qualify, but also I enjoyed my trip. I was just a girl.
Yeah.
I was just
so
a
then
girl.
you qualify for the Youth World Champs, and where was that tournament happening?
It was in Hungary.
Another country that you get to go
Country.
to. Yeah. Okay, we need to hear about Hungary, but we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we continue to learn more about Mapaseka Makhanya and what happened in Hungary. And also, I'm keen to understand why the 800 and 1.5 distances that she races. Coming back after the break. It's Wiser, and today we're certainly getting wiser with Mapaseka Makhanya. So you've taken your first trip to Mauritius. Number one, Ekaya, I'm sure they were happy that at least the first one is done and dusted. Ubuye safe, about kidnapping in Mauritius. How happy was your family to have you go to your first trip and come back safe and sound with a top 5 position?
They were happy. My mom was very happy, but still running was not on the table. But she was very happy that I'm back safe. But because I have been a strong-willed person, and even when she said, no, you're not going to run, I was like, no, we'll see about that. I'm going to run, not whether you like it or not, but I'll sneak out.
Yes.
I'll sneak out, put my clothes outside a toilet. In the morning, I wake up like I'm going to the toilet, then go and they'll see me in the afternoon.
Gone for the whole day.
Gone for the whole day. I'll come back in the afternoon. Like, okay, I'm back. That's shouting. But I wouldn't say that.
Yes,
but
yes.
I'm back.
And then you get the top 5 position that qualifies you for the World Champs in Hungary. So in your travels, Mapaseka, because we know where women in sports generally are concerned, you can't travel with a whole team like the people that you're competing with. Who's your travel partner when you're going to these competitions? Or is it because it was at a school level, it was a big contingent of people that you were traveling with?
It was a big team. It was Team South Africa, so it was a big
yes,
team.
Yes, green and yellow.
I mean, we had your likes of Khoso Mokoena. There were a whole lot that I can mention that were there. I think Khoso Mokoena was there. Those World Championships, Alison Felix from USA ran in those World Championships. So it was a big team from Team South Africa. We had Anna is still running now, but most of the people are not. I think I'm the only one from that team who's still running.
Yeah. And Maufiga to most of these countries, particularly outside of the continent, what are some of the things that you're noticing about the level of athletics, the level of resources? Did you feel like, we're South Africa, maybe I don't have as much? How did it feel to be within those spaces?
Not really, but the first thing that shocked us, 10 o'clock, the sun is out. We couldn't sleep. In the morning, 4 a.m., we were up, bathing. We wanted to go eat breakfast. It's 4 a.m. The sun is out. And we were always tired because we didn't get used to the change of the weather, the time. But other than that, we were still so young to realize all those things there. Things that we don't have. Like, I was running barefoot. Imagine, you're going to World Championships, you're representing South Africa, you are in Hungary, you're running barefoot. But for me, you don't even see those things. You like, I'm here, and this is what I'm used to. I'm gonna run barefoot. They look at you funny, but it's like, it's normal in South Africa.
Yes,
it's normal because even the people that I ran with, my competitors in South Africa, and I can't say it's because of color, but even the white athletes, because we think they have more than us, but they preferred running barefoot. So Linnell and I would run barefoot, and people look at like,
what's wrong?
What's wrong? Don't you have shoes? They're from Africa. So those are one of the things that will build your confidence. But we were so young and innocent. Nothing was wrong with that. And that thing of, I'm going to Hungary. You don't focus more on the competition. You focus more on the environment. And first round, you're out. But we eat ice cream, we eat anything. But those are the disadvantages that in South Africa, our maybe elite level, when it comes to young kids, we don't teach them the discipline. When you go represent the country, this is what you do, this is how you support. Because other countries, they look professional. We are kids playing, we don't care about competition, we're just there. First round, we're out, and then that's it. You know, what's next? Yeah. So you qualify, you're trying to go there. After you've qualified, I've qualified. I'm going to Hungary. So you don't have that passion that you had before qualifying. And when I look back at those moments, I wish I could have, those are the things that I wish I could change about me.
Is there a point where you finally realize that, okay, I'm a professional athlete? And do you remember when that moment was where you said, this could be what I do for the rest of my life?
When I resigned from my job, work was not working for me.
So what job were you in at the time?
I was a chief admin officer. Okay, I started at Transnet as a technical worker, then an electrician, and then a acting chief admin officer. And then I just resigned. Like, I woke up one day, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do this. I can't do this for the rest of my life.
I've had enough.
I've had enough. And I got that job through running. So they wanted us to run for Transnet. In return, they gave us jobs. So I'm like, no, keep your job. You can keep it, it's fine. But it forced me now to look at running differently. Even when I resigned, I didn't know what was the plan. I just resigned because I was too tired of working. And from then on, I think things became clearer. Running became lighter.
Yeah.
But before then, I think the All Africa Games in 2007 in Algeria, I was racing Maria Mutola.
Someone you initially looked up to.
I went to the heat, I qualified for the final, and then on our way to the track in the final, I cried. Because why? Why am I doing this? These people are fast, these people are old. I look up to these people, I'm not gonna run with these people. I cried. And then Renee Kalma came to me and said, you're wasting energy.
Those tears.
With those tears and those emotions, you're wasting the energy that you need to be using in the track. And I was like, okay. Okay. And I was not last. I was not last.
Mapaseka Makhanya is our guest, middle and long distance runner. The 800, 1.5 meter distances is what we've known her for in this country. So that's part one, done and dusted. I think we've really gotten to know and enjoy Mapaseka's early days and early childhood when she was starting as an elite runner. So next week when we come back, we go in a little deeper. We'll speak about some of the losses in her life that have shaped her as a human being. She's a mother to a daughter, and how that has been challenging considering the things that she experienced as well as a young girl. It's Women in Sport Africa, and we'll see you again next week, Sunday, 9 a.m. on SABC2.